Hey, what's up? This is ASTRODIM using my sexy voice, laying on my bed, because you know it's my Bed and Astrology. Taurus full moon, baby. Wow. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM here, doing the Taurus full moon vid. What up, my nigga? So, the Taurus full moon was at 8:33 a.m. And I like to do the Taurus full moon videos a little bit later, just a little bit later, because what I want y'all to do. I don't want to tell y'all the news, right? And then before the moon goes exact with the sun exactly opposite to the sun, I don't want y'all to do your full moon intentions of letting things go, because if you let things go while the moon and the sun is exact or a little bit before it ain't gonna be as potent, because you want to get it while still the full moon, but while the moon is like decreasing a bit. So I really suggest for people to do like magicals. Honestly, like if I had to give y'all a suggestion, I'll say like 12 hours after the full moon at the very least. But as long as just after the sun and the moon are exactly opposite, then you're straight. You know what I mean? Just don't do it before, because the thing is, if you do it before the sun and the moon is exactly opposite, the moon is still growing, and so your problems are growing instead of decreasing. Gross. Okay, little electional astrology knowledge for your ass, for that ass. Okay. But okay, let's talk about this full moon in Taurus. Okay, so the sun and the moon were exactly opposite at 8:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, on the east coast of the United States of America. And it was on November 12th, all right? Shout out to so many people. There's mad people I know whose birthday is November 12th, but the person I remember the most is Omarion from B2K, or just Omarion because he's a solo artist as well. And, I used to have the biggest crush on him. And I remember his birthday because I was that B2K fan, but posters all over their wall, posted specifically over Marion, just drooling. So shout out to everybody. I have even a Patreon subscriber who has a birthday November 12th too. A lot of clients too. I connect with Scorpios. I see y'all. It's because y'all are my 9th and 10th house. So shout out to the Scorps out there. Anywho, the full moon was at 19 degrees and 52 minutes of Taurus. Okay, so that means the sun was in Scorpio at 19 degrees and 52 minutes. Okay, so I always do this in every full moon and new moon reading, give you the astronomical and astrological meaning of the full moon. So like I described before, the full moon is when the sun is opposite of the moon. Literally, sun's in one section, the moon's in the other, the earth's there, and we get to basically see the full vision of the full vision of the moon. So it's kind of like sun, then the earth, and then the moon. The thing is, though, it's like they're all in different positions. So maybe the sun's a little bit more up, the earth's a little bit more down, and the moon's a little bit more like between the earth and the sun when it comes to vertical placement. When it's all lined up, that's a lunar eclipse. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen too often. Only twice. I think twice a year, right? Something like that. So at least once. So, that's how it is. The earth and the moon and the sun are in the same area. Not even what I say. I feel like why can't I describe this? It's the damn Mercury retrograde. Wow. But basically they're in the same area. They're lined up, but they're in different positionings. One's a little bit more higher, one's a little bit more lower, one's in between. And, you know, it's in the way where Earth can fully see the moon, you know, the light side of the moon, because the sun's shining bright on it. You get what I'm saying? Wow. Thanks, Mercury. Goodness gracious. Okay, so that's what it is astronomically. But astrologically, right, you have to think about the meaning of each of these placements, or each of these cosmic bodies. So the moon represents, you know, our inner world, our family, our ancestry, our emotions, the things that tug at our heartstrings, right? So it represents our emotional being and what we feel deep inside that we don't really let out that much, right? The sun represents our conscious actions, how we react to things while, you know, consciously. You know, we think about it and we act, you know what I mean? Our reaction to things represents our ego and just how we express ourselves, right? And so when you think about it, you know, the sun, like I said, is opposite of the moon. So the sun's in Scorpio, the moon's in its opposite sign, Taurus. We feel one way, but we react another. And this is what the term, like, you know, lunatic comes from, because, or like, you know, when people always act up during the full moon, it's because literally what's happening, we feel one way, we react another, because we feel like we have to act another way, and it's bothering us inside, causing a lot of frustration, right? And then we swell the fuck out, you know? That's just what it is, because we're doing what we're not feeling deep inside. We're ignoring some energy, repressing energy, emotional energy that's deep inside, because we feel like we have to act in one way. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the meaning and the difference between astronomical full moon and an astrological full moon. You feel what I'm saying? All right. So let's talk about this full moon, though, like a little bit more intensely, right? Because I did say that internally you feel one way, externally you act in another. So internally you want to strengthen your self-worth, to create stability, right? But externally you feel, and you want to, but you feel you have to come together with someone, become intimate, and transform your life, have more of a shared worth instead of a self-worth. So a lot of these issues is connected to worth, and we're like wanting to express shared worth with people. We want to become intimate and transform with them, but we're often wondering, you know, my Patreon subscribers hear this, me say this a lot when it comes to this energy towards Scorpio 2nd, 8th, Pluto, Venus, right? We're second guessing our worth. And so we're wondering, you know, are we worthy enough for intimacy? You get what I'm saying? Like it's getting deep, and it's getting into our feels, and it's kind of hurting our feelings a little bit. Like we're trying to figure out, like, are we worthy enough for intimacy? Are we worthy enough for the transformation that we want within our lives? You know, like, why is it so hard for me to get it? Like, am I having issues? Like, am I not stable enough? What's wrong with me? You know? And so you're questioning your self-worth. And you're saying, okay, like, I need to build on that before I come together with someone. But it's Scorpio season. Like I say all the time, where the sun is at, the rest, the collective needs to follow. And so we're wanting to come together with people. Come on, man, it's cuffing season, but we're trying to figure out, what can I do to strengthen my worth in order to get to that? You know, that's what we need to focus on. Now, the thing is, I always tell people all the fucking time, everyone is worthy of whatever they fucking want in their lives, man. I can't stress this enough. There is literally no difference between a homeless person and a billionaire, okay? And when it comes to worthiness, there's no difference. The difference is kind of like knowing the worth. That's the difference, knowing your worth. The billionaire knows their worth a little bit more, a lot of it more than the homeless person. You know what I mean? And they act as such. I always say to people, especially when I do career readings, you know, the only thing that's stopping you from getting the things that you want in life is your sense of self-worth. you know, like you want something and you're not getting it, it's because low-key you feel like you're not worthy of it. So you need to correct that. And that's what it is, man. Okay? And so the thing is, you know, I always say during full moons, we need to let go. We need to release some shit. You get what I'm saying? We need to release the issues that we have connected to our self-worth in order to get ready for this shared worth, this intimacy, this transformation within our lives. All right? So while you're writing your intentions, while you're writing your list, you know, I know a lot of y'all already wrote some shit down or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's totally fine. You did your rituals, but you can write another. You absolutely can. Okay, you can write another list. You got up until the 15th, end of the day 15th, in order to get this done. Okay, and so if you think of things, continue to write the list, continue to write the clauses. I like to use Mystic lipsticks. You know, I like to start off looking at the things that she wrote, the notes that she writes, the intentions and manifestations that she writes for each of the moons. I think they're a genius, right? And then you can add your own of things you need to let go connected to your worthiness. And this is like emotional worth, right? Your confidence, your self-esteem, right? Your you know, those things, you know, but it's also the issues that you have with material worth. Your finances, the possessions that you have, do things keep getting stolen from you? Do things keep getting missing? You know, is there underlying issues with that? Are you not making enough money that you want? Like, are there underlying issues with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, let that shit go. Let that shit go. Okay? So for real. So that 11/11 wish that I suggest y'all to do in my Instagram post, that shit actually works. Okay? That's what you guys need to do. That 11/11 that past one was a special one, man. And a lot of my Instagram folks that followed, I hope y'all listened to me and y'all did some manifestations for that. That was a special one because the 11/11 happened the day before the full moon, where the full moon, the moon was pretty much growing to its fullest potential. That means your wishes will grow into the fullest potential. Very nine of cups. Wish fulfillment, my nigga. All right. I hope y'all did some fucking wishes. And that's what I'm saying. Especially while Mercury was crossing the fucking sun, my dude. Listen, you had that fucking clarity, my nigga. like the 11/11 was the most clear day that we've had, mentally clear day that we've had. All right, because of that Kazemi happening with the Sun and Mercury, man. I hope y'all took advantage, and I hope that now y'all follow me on Instagram if you didn't, so you can get these exclusive notes, okay? So I was thinking about doing a podcast with it, but I was too busy. You know, Kazemi's, man, they're really interesting. Energy is dope, but your mind is just like going crazy, okay? No matter if it's Mercury retrograde, no matter if it's not, your mind is wilding. And I'm having a Mercury perfection year, so I had personal things to do, baby, okay? I couldn't really focus that much on y'all. I wrote my post, and it was a long one, too. It was a 2-parter. You know, and hopefully you learn to follow the kid at _ASTRODIM on Instagram. Okay, follow the kid so you can get the fucking knowledge. Okay, because I'm not gonna be really on Twitter like that. Instagram's my new spiel now. I'm gonna be on Twitter every now and then, but you know, Instagram's gonna be my new spiel. All right. But that's what I really think, you know, y'all wanting that cuffing season situation, y'all wanting to be within this season of relationships. This is a relationship season, you know, Libra season, Scorpio season, Sag season. Those are relationship signs, honey. They are. So if you really want that relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, business, whatever, you know, this is the full moon to kind of get you set for that cuffing season, to stay nice and warm. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's what I think for this full moon in general. Okay, internally you want to strengthen your self-worth to create stability and security. but externally you want to come together with someone, become intimate, and transform your life. You need to let go of the worries that you have when it comes to stability, security, and self-worth, so you can let in that shared worth and intimacy and just general transformation in your life. Okay? So make sure you do manifestations letting go of issues that you have involving your self-worth, stability, and security. Specifically in the sector of your life in which Taurus, the house in which Taurus is in your chart, right? And my Patreon subscribers, I'll get specific details on what this full moon means to you, so y'all can write the best manifestations for you. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit more. All right. The moon is again, when it was exact at 19 degrees Taurus, 52 minutes, right? Almost third decan, but not quite. It's actually the second decan of Taurus, which is a Virgo decan, a Mercury decan, okay? And the sun, of course, also second decan Scorpio. And that was that's a Pisces decan, okay? So it's the middle energy of the signs, right? And it's actually almost very, very close, like minutes away from the third decan of the sign, the most advanced energy of the sign. But it's still, it's showing that you're kind of going from one phase to another. It's a transformation. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting. With the Taurus. Taurus full moon being in the Virgo decan, right? We're being quite specific, quite detailed, quite organized, or trying to be at least, figuring out like issues with our self-worth, which is actually pretty good. It might be feeling like, man, I'm being really hard on myself, right? Especially with this Mercury retrograde happening. You might feel like, damn, I'm being really, really hard on myself. This is becoming a lot, you know what I mean? But all the things that you are worrying about or having anxiety about when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your voice, when it comes to your worth and confidence and self-esteem, when it comes to your upbringing and how it changed you, or developed you, when it comes to the things, the characteristics and talents that you inherited from your family, when it comes to all of that, you know what I mean? If you have any issues with those things, this is actually great, because like you're focusing on it with this full moon being in a Virgo decan. You're being quite nitpicky and detailed oriented about it, and it's Mercury retrograde, so you could write all of this shit down in detail, all the issues that you have, and like let it go, right? I release blah blah blah. I release my insecurity when it comes to money. I release issues that I have with my voice, with my thyroid, with my throat. You know what I mean? It could be that literal too. I release I don't know, some weird characteristic that I got from my ancestors, because I want to heal that ancestral energy that I have, so my kids don't get it too. You know what I mean? Like, you're very focused and detailed when it comes to those issues. You're being kind of hard on yourself. You need to write that shit down so you can release it for this full moon. Okay. The sun is at the Pisces decan, or Neptune decan of Scorpio, right? And so this is really interesting. Pisces is all connected to more so like the collective unconsciousness, how we are like empathic and just emotionally involved within the collective, you know what I mean? In the sense of like, if someone across the world is going through something, and that actually, even if you feel like, man, that's fucked up, and you go on with about your day, like that little bit of compassion that you have, that's what the Pisces energy kind of represents, right? And so I feel like that, yes, with this Scorpio sun energy, you're really focusing on, the intimate relationships that you have directly, right? And how the intimate relationships that you have are like very personal to that person. But I think that you're also learning through the intimate relationships that you want how we should have unconditional love. You know what I mean? Like beyond just, loving the people that you're close with or you're around, but loving the world. You know what I mean? And I feel like through having unconditional love and full of passion, and be full of passion, or be full of passion, be compassionate to the world. I think that's a way where you can kind of open up your heart in a large enough way so someone else can come into it that's like more private and intimate to you. You get what I'm saying? So, it's interesting because the thing is that like, with this Scorpio season and with this Scorpio Mercury retrograde, we're thinking about a lot of personal things. We're healing a lot of personal things, some secretive things, some things that we've repressed and dug deep within us, and we're facing them and we're working through it. And it's been tough, but we're doing it, right? But then you're also realizing that like, I have all this baggage. I have all these issues, and I want someone to be compassionate towards me. Let me be compassionate towards another person who went through similar things or just things that are different from me. Let me be compassionate too. So through you like digging deep within your shit, you're learning to be forgiving and compassionate to yourself and forgiving and compassionate to others. You know what I mean? And it opens you up so much that the right person can come along into your life, and you'll be, your arms will be wide open. You know what I mean? Because you care. You know what I mean? Like, and you're not as judgmental and discriminatory as you would naturally be. And it's so funny because like Virgos are known for being kind of like discriminatory, not in a racial way. I'm talking about just like little things that set them off and they're like, no. You know what I mean? You're kind of using that discriminatory energy inward to flush out all the self-worth issues that you got. But then you're learning to have your arms a little bit wide open and being discriminatory towards yourself, right? Would allow you to be like, well, my shit's dirty too. My shit stinks as well. You know what I mean? Like, so why would I judge somebody else? I need to be compassionate to other people too. You know what I mean? I can't be judging people. I can't. It's your eyes are really opening to that. And when you have that understanding, and when you have that compassion to others, and when you are, just empathetic, you know what I mean? You would, it kind of puts your guard down. You're not as discriminatory, and you will end up finding out like the person that the least likely that you would like, you would end up realizing that you do like them and they're a really good person, and then you can really have a wonderful intimate relationship with them, whether it's romantic, platonic, or business. But you kind of have to go through the part of like digging deep within yourself and healing that shit that you have, some problems, the self-worth issues that you have, in order to realize that my shit stinks too, so let me be caring and open to other people. And then that's when that intimate relationship will come through. You feel what I'm saying? Just think about it, boo. Just think about it. But it's all a learning lesson. We're getting there, especially with this energy being at the last degree of the second decade. That's something special, y'all. And then also, too, this is at 19 degrees. 19 degrees is a Libra degree of relationships. The sign of relationships. This is a Libra degree. You know what I mean? I fully believe in the Serbian astrology degree method, man. So I'm going to be using it in my shit, because that shit's incredible. But anywho, like, the Libra degree, 19 degrees is a Libra degree. So we're building relationships. We're setting ourselves up to be open enough to build the relationships. It gives me like a very like Vertex-y vibe, because I think through healing yourself, you know, you're going to attract the right people in your life, you know? So it's dope. It's dope shit. It's like a faded shit. You know what I mean? I love it. I like it. I think this is dope ass energy. This moon is cool. And this moon, although it's making me tired as fuck, Lord knows this moon is making me tired as fuck. Okay? I think it's a chill ass moon. It's like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's full of so much potential. Like, full of potential. It makes me happy. It really does. It's just like, I usually am not good at full moons. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm not good. It's just like, it's a lot of energy. You know, I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, like, a lot of women menstruate during their full moons. You know, it's a lot. But this moon is cool. I like this one. This moon's straight. All right, so last segment for the public folk is I was talking about these aspects, okay? So many aspects happening. Not so many, but a couple. Let's talk about them, okay? So this full moon is opposite Mercury retrograde. Which means the sun is conjunct the Mercury retrograde, right? Which is really interesting. So with the moon in Taurus, again, we are kind of like searching through and understanding deeply our emotional worthiness, right? We're trying to figure out if our emotions are worthy, if they're any worthiness within how we feel, you know what I mean? And if we should do something practically about it, you know what I mean? So we're at this moment, that's what we're doing. Like, we're kind of searching through our emotions, the things that affect us the most. And we're trying to figure out, okay, is this worth working at this moment, or should we just bounce? Should we just leave this alone? Right. And then, you know, after we kind of figure that out, like, we're gonna be like thinking like, okay, so what are we gonna do about this? You know, earth moons are like that. Earth moons are practical. They feel something. Okay, what am I gonna do about it? First of all, is it worth me doing something about it? Okay, it is. What am I gonna do about it? That's how earth moons work. You get what I'm saying? And with Mercury, though, Mercury is opposite that energy and is retrograde. And so at this time, instead of focusing you know, our logical mind's not really focusing on our emotional worthiness and stuff like that. Our logical mind is actually reflecting on intimate relationships and intimate moments and transformative moments that we've had. And we're figuring out, what do I need to learn? What do I need to change? You know what I mean? When it comes to intimate relationships or transformative moments or deep, intense moments, how can I communicate better? You know what I mean? How can I prepare for these situations better? What can I do in my day-to-day life to make sure that transformations are like done smoothly? That I can just add somebody in my life and my routine's not too fucked up. How can I open up my day-to-day life for someone to come in it, whether it's romantic, platonic, or business, you know, intimacy, energetic intimacy, you know what I mean? So we're reflecting on these things, and you know, even I told people before too, like, you know, you gotta kind of like be careful, or not even be careful, and be cautious, but like reflect on you know, the occult type work that you do. You know what I mean? The steps that you take in tarot, in astrology, in magic, in, you know, any type of divination thing that you do. This is a great time to reflect on your like routines and organization and how you deal with this shit and how to go about it and stuff like that, right? Because there could be ways in which you can fine tune it and make it a little bit better. Because occult and divination, those type of readings, that's intimacy. It's energetic intimacy. Do you feel what I'm saying, though? Okay? And so, you know, it's interesting because emotionally we're focusing on things that are emotionally worthy to us and how we can fix it. But our mind is focusing on more so how can we prepare for transformative moments in our life, prepare for intimacy, and prepare for, you know, I guess even like intimate conversations and transformative conversations. You know, our mind is also like figuring out like, okay, how can we work through traumatic situations that are like that's causing like that's are like represented by fixed emotions. You know what I mean? How can we work through that too? You know what I mean? We're not so focused that much on, you know, I feel this way, is it worthy, let me do something about it. Like, I know emotionally that's what we kind of want to do, but our mind is focusing back on like old situations and facing it and finding a way how to fix it. Not fixing it yet because Mercury is retrograde, but we're just reflecting on it and facing it. And then just thinking about plans on how to go about it and fix it. You get what I'm saying? So it's really, really interesting when not even your self-expression is opposite of you, but your fucking logical thought is. And so, you know, a lot of people at this moment may feel like, well, damn, like I feel like I'm not, you know, emotionally connected. I feel like no one's, not even myself, is understanding how I'm feeling, my emotions at this point. You know what I mean? And so it's really interesting energy. It really is, because like instead of focusing on yourself and the worthiness and the confidence within you and the worth within you, you're focusing on situations that involve other people or involve other energies and how it affected you. So it's not so focused on like self. It's like situations that other people were, you and other people were in, and how that affected you instead of just you and your personal journey. So it's really interesting energy for sure. Especially with Mercury conjunct the sun as well. You know, the sun is, again, where the collective needs to focus on right now. And our logical thought is in that same wave. And so we're doing things and we're expressing in a way where we're like, okay, we need to work on intimacy. We need to work on transformative situations. We need to work on the depthness and the darkness within us and facing it and healing it, you know, and how people that we loved so dearly hurt and disappointed us and caused this fixed emotion. We need to let that fixed emotion uproot that shit, you know, so we can face it. You know, so it's kind of like how other people hurt us and how to heal from it instead of just my personal life and what I need to do about it at this moment and my personal feelings and what I need to do about it at this moment. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting shit. Very interesting shit, you know. But yeah, I know I talked a lot about that one. It's 11:11, so whatever I was saying, I was just pure channeling right there. Whatever I was saying was true. Because it's 11:11 right now. Make a wish. Let me make a wish real quick, y'all. Okay, sorry. All right, I really made a wish I wasn't playing with y'all niggas. All right, next. This full moon is sextile North Node, and trines the North Node is trine the sun, which means the moon is, this is so hard for me to say, trine the south node, and the south node is sextile the moon. So I'm just going to break this down for a little bit, right? So the north node, is this why I was kind of annoyed while like people were like wilding the fuck out in like on social media, especially like Twitter, like spiritual Twitter, quote unquote. It's because this North Node is really pushing us to nurture not only ourselves, but learn how to nurture others appropriately. Kind of being inside the, understanding the emotions of others directly through our emotions. You know what I mean? Because if you kind of break down the water energy, right? Cancer is kind of like our direct emotions. And this is why like Cancer energy folks are really good at like kind of stepping in a room, and then they like feel stuff intensely through their personal emotions, and it's almost like they are feeling it directly, right? It's kind of like what I feel, and they like similar to Pisces, sometimes they get their emotions confused. They won't really get their emotions confused, but they literally be feeling what other people feel, and they usually know it's not their feeling, but it's just heavy still, and they emote it, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like your personal emotions. And so I always like think of this North Node energy in Cancer and think like, this is situations in which, especially because this energy has a South Node fucking in Capricorn, my nigga, right? Listen here when I say this, okay? This makes me think that we need to really put ourselves in other people's shoes, right? Because the thing is that, the South Node is in Capricorn. You can feel karma if you don't do that. You can feel the karma, and you can feel the karma strong if you don't be compassionate, be nurturing to yourselves, but make sure you're nurturing to others too. And really be like, okay, if I was in their shoes, how would I feel at this moment? How would I want someone to approach me if I was in this situation? Because you never know what in life could happen that could put you in any type of situation ever. Okay, and I don't want to hear if that was me, I would have done this. You listen, unless you went through it, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't. And I want y'all to be careful, man, because again, South Node's in fucking Capricorn. Capricorn is connected to Saturn. There's this karmic ass energy. You will get your payback if you really don't try to be nurturing and supportive of others, y'all. All right, so I just wanted to say that little bit real quick, but let me talk about this moon. So this moon is sextile North Node, right? So it's really dope ass energy. We're learning actually to be a little bit more nurturing to others in an emotional way. Taurus and Cancer is so cute because, they both love comfort, love, just, being like in their little nook. And like they like comfort in different ways, but they love food, they love comfort, they love, family, they love just comfortability. That's just straight what it is, man. They really love it. But Taurus finds comfort within like the practical things, the physical things, through even like physical touch, while Cancer feels comfort and emotion. And so you're learning the levels of comfort in this energy, which is really, really dope. But you're also learning how to also make other people comfortable too, not just yourself. And so it's kind of like a learning process. That's why I like sextile energy, because it's harmonious, but it's learning still. You know what I mean? It's not just totally easy like trines. Trines are beautiful, but can be boring. You're learning still with the sextile energy. It's real dope. I like it. So that's real cool, right? With the sun actually trining North Node, though, this is cool because it's like easy for us to be nurturing. It's easy for us to nurture others and support others because, we're in this vibe of really getting to understand people's emotional side. You know what I mean? We're trying to really connect with people on an emotional level, like the depths within them. And so, like, through doing that, you can nurture people better. You know what I mean? And so, like, this is just dope ass energy to have. But if you flip it and focus a little bit more on South Node, South Node is what energy, it's kind of like the full moon, North Node and South Node. It's energy that we need to kind of like release in the sense of like the tough parts of Capricorn, like authority issues, control issues. Issues with responsibility, you're kind of facing it so you could let it go. It's very similar to the full moon, you know what I mean? And the thing is that like sorry for the interruption, y'all. Sorry. Anyways, so with the South Node, is like I said, it gives me kind of full moon-esque energy because it's some karmic things that we're letting go of. And like, of course, it's kind of like issues that we have with authority, responsibility, control, shit like that. And just general karma overall, right? And so, with this moon sign trining South Node is actually pretty cool because the moon is karmic itself, right? And South Node is karmic and it's in a karmic sign. And so a lot of the self-worth issues that we have stems from karma, stems from past life issues. And we're like being able to face them. If you want to do a past life regression, I feel like do one now. Okay? I feel like you can really open up a lot of issues that you have that's connected to your confidence, your worth, your self-esteem, the money that you make, all that. You know what I mean? I really feel that it can open the floodgates for you in a positive way. So you can unlock the abundance, So it's like trying energy. It's easy for you to access these issues that you have from within and to, face them and heal them. You know what I mean? And then release them. That's the dope part about it. Yes, everybody give a snap, please. Dope shit. The dope thing about it though too is that, the South Node is sextile the sun. With that energy, we're realizing that intimate partnerships with, that's connected to confidential information is needed for elevation, is needed for growth, is needed to be on the top of your game in the earthly realm. And with this energy as well, if you are having trying to figure out some issues that you have connected to any form of intimacy, any form of relationship, any form of shared resources, if you have karma connected to that, you can directly connect to it and heal it. Not as much as the self-worth issues that you can heal that really, really good, but you can definitely learn more about your issues with intimacy that is connected to your karmic past. With that sextile energy, you can learn a lot from the experience. So it's pretty dope. Really, really fortunate energy for sure. And it will teach you and help you express intimacy a little bit more, kind of digging deeper into your karmic past. You really could. So again, if you want to do any type of karmic reading, past life regression, anything connected with past life and readings, is it the time to do it? Because the veil is thin, the portal is open. Shit, you can see the shits. You can see all the shits. Okay, it's really dope energy for sure. Okay. I'm talking a lot, so let's keep this pushing, man. I'm talking too much. All right. Another thing I see is that is South Node. The moon is trine Pluto. Sun is sextile Pluto. The moon trine Pluto is beautiful because you can really fucking transform your fucking life, man. Pluto's all about transformation. Pluto in Capricorn speaks of transformation of authority, transformation of control. Not only authority and control within yourself, authority and control within the world, within the collective, any form of collectivity that you're in, you know what I mean? And so if you really want to transform the authority and the control that you have within your life, make it better, have more control of your specific life. If you want to add intimacy within your life, intimacy within, have some authority within intimate relationships that you have, so it could be more 50-50, all that stuff, you know what I mean? It'll be dope. It'll be dope to work with that, to work with this full moon, because the full moon trining this energy is like you're emotionally realizing that in order for me to have the authority and control that I want, I need to have the best sense of self-worth that I can have. And so you're realizing too that I need to have more authority and control in my self-worth, and I need to clean fucking house, okay? So release the issues and energy, negative energies connected to your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence, and all of that, you know what I mean? Doing that, it really could transform your life for the better, transform your self-esteem, your confidence, your money, your possessions, you know what I mean? The job that you have can get you into authority positions. You know what I mean? When you start having more authority and control over your self-worth, you can transform that shit with this full moon, and easily too. Easy fucking money, all right? Use the energy, y'all. For real. You don't want to get caught up. And the thing is too, is that like, if you don't do it, like, it's easy for you to feel not only restricted, but feel like possessed, not in the like spiritual sense of possessed, but possessed as in like, I'm just a cog in the wheel. I'm just, a number in the fucking chain gang. You know what I mean? Like, stand up. It's going to be easy to do it. It's going to be easy to transform your life into this full moon, okay? But the dope thing about it, though, is with this Pluto energy sextiling the sun, too, you can really transform how you express intimacy. You could transform how you express transformation and how you deal with transformation and transformative moments within your life. Scorpio is connected to many forms of death: physical death, spiritual death, energetic death, relationship death, like any form of death, right? But it's the rebirth that's included to it. And so, if you're going through any form of death and rebirth, and you really want to be able to handle these situations with strength, with agility, with power, and being empowered through your transformation and the transitional stage of it, you know what I mean? You can learn a lot through standing up and taking more authority over those transformative situations. So in this time, when you really reflect on intimacy and transformation within your life, try to understand your personal power within it, and try to learn to have more authority over that transformation, and to transform your authority over transformative situations. Realizing that, it's funny because it's like, listen to this. I just got this thought pop in my head, right? Clear cognizance, y'all. The crazy thing about it is that you have more authority over the transformative moments in your life when you actually give it up to God. Let go and let God, right? Because the thing is, we all are workers. We are children of God. Once you kind of like let go and let God, surrender to the universe, you actually are taking authority over the situation, because you're like, you know what? I did what I had to do. You get what I'm saying? This is just a part of the phase. This is just a part of the life. I did what I had to do. Leaving it alone. And when you kind of have that type of energy, you're actually taking authority over the situation by actually giving it to somebody else. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being a boss and then like giving different people responsibilities. You know what I mean? You're not the boss. You can't do all the work yourself. You need people under you. You need subordinates. Not saying God's a subordinate, because, definitely that's not the case. You know what I mean? But it's just the fact that this person has the authority to give it to the next best man. You know what I mean? Or the better energy, which is God, right? And so, believe it or not, having more authority or control over the situation, any transformative moment that you're going through within your life, giving it up to God, let going and let Godding. What else? Surrendering to the universe. You're actually having, you're taking charge, and you're having authority in that energy. So, definitely keep that in mind. It's really interesting. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm talking a lot, man. God damn. Okay, let's keep it going. This energy is also, the full moon is trine Saturn and sextile the sun. And so with that one, it's really interesting too, because we're with Saturn and Capricorn, I tell people all the time, this is kind of like us having more authority and control over our status, our reputation, and how we're seen. Having authority of the authority in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like having just kind of like being able to take the wheel as much as we can when it comes to our specific life. You know what I mean? And so with this energy, with the moon is kind of like, again, similar to that Pluto energy that I described. Instead of it being about transformation, it's about more just having authority over just how you're seen and what you're known for, including your career. You're going to be emotionally more in tune on what to do when it comes to authority and how to handle authority as well, and in your career overall. But you're also learning on a personal note to, in order for you to get more authority, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your reputation, whether it's in your status, whatever it is in your life, you need to realize that you're worth that authority, boo-boo. All right? And I think, you're realizing that, hey, I'm worth more. I'm worth this authority that I want. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people wonder why they're not getting promoted, when low key they feel like they're not worthy of getting promoted. Or allowing other people to tell you what your worth is, and letting people tell you you're not worthy of it, and believing it. You get what I'm saying? And that's the funny thing about it, because this energy is actually sextile the sun in Scorpio. And the sun in Scorpio is shared worth, right? And so in shared worth, there's always someone involved, so another person involved, and that other person got their own opinion. So they may be trying to tell you, hey, you need to step up. Hey, you're not worthy. Hey, you're messing up the shared worth. You need to pull up your side of the situation. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, though, it's like I always say about the Scorpio energy and Taurus energy, that you are as strong as your weakest link. But the thing is, though, you have to realize, again, that you are worth anything that you want in life. You are worth more than that, actually. And so when you start realizing that, yes, I realize that I am, we're talking about share worth, are as strong as our weakest link. I'm worthy to be the strongest link. You know what I mean? And so once you start like taking more control and more authority over the intimate relationships that you have, whether it's romantic, business, or platonic, right? You're gonna be able to like see intimacy in a different way. And you can like kind of be the stronger link instead of the weakest link. You know what I mean? Or at least be equally yoked to the next person that you're working with or have that intimate relationship with. You know what I mean? With this energy too, I feel like that you're learning to be able to like express, transformation, transition, and intimacy better, and being able to have still be like a leader in that situation, no matter how emotionally draining or tough it may be. You know what I mean? A lot of learning lessons. This is like all good energy with this moon. It really is. It's dope. If you really want to have if you really want to kind of move up, if you really want to have control over your life, have control over whatever part of your life, move up within your career. You know what I mean? You can make it happen with this full moon. But, in this process, though, you need to kind of release issues that you have with authority and control, and release issues that you have when it comes to feeling that you're not worthy enough for a shared or intimate or transformative situation in your life. You know what I mean? Lastly, this full moon is sextile Neptune retrograde, and Neptune is also trine the sun. It's really interesting with this energy because with the moon, I kind of feel that we're getting we're learning to be able to understand our emotions and deem pure emotion as worthy in this process, right? And so I feel like that a lot of y'all will get little inklings, little intuitive messages randomly, and you don't have any logical proof, you don't have any practical proof, it don't even seem practical, but something is telling you, what, I should do it. So you may do it or you may not, but you're gonna learn that, hey, I should have listened to my intuition, or I'm glad I listened to my intuition. I think you're gonna learn how to gauge your intuition a little bit more, and to deem just pure emotional messages, which is what intuition is. You're going to deem that more worthy. You know what I mean? I feel like you're going to learn also to differentiate intuitive messages that you pick up empathically from other entities, other people, whatever, and your own emotions. And so you're going to be able to gauge it more and feel that, hey, this emotional shit's actually worthy enough to consider in life. You know what I mean? So it's really, really cool. Dope energy. With Neptune retrograde too, I always tell people that energy gives me the vibe of us reflecting on our spirituality, reflecting and improving on our intuitive messaging, and picking it up and knowing what's in intuition, what's not, and stuff like that. Okay. So, and also reflecting on our, self-undoing and self-sabotaging ways as well, and, self-doubt and issues with self-worth go hand in hand. And so I feel like a lot of people are going to get intuitive messages from their ancestors and guides, kind of telling them and guiding them, hey, you're good, man. You're worthy. Stop doubting yourself. This is a gift that God has given you. Go, and release that issue, that self-doubt that you have within. But it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy for you to get this. A lot of the things that we're learning and we're understanding, believe it or not, I'm not going to say the process is easy when it comes to facing your emotions, but it's going to be easy for you to tap into those emotions so you know what to release. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just a good cleansing ass moon, man. It really is. But you're still going to feel grounded and stable in the process because it's a Taurus moon. Dope shit. Dope shit. With Neptune trine the sun, this is dope, because we're basically going to be able to naturally tune in and, intuitively to the intuitive messages that we're getting from our guides, God, ancestors, all of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like with that energy too, we are naturally reacting and taking action based off intuitive messages, and learning to take action on intuitive messages a little bit more. Like, this is a learning process because the energy is retrograde. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like I talked a lot, y'all. I did. I really did. So that's what I got for you for this moon. Please use this as a beautiful releasing moon. Release all the issues of self-worth and self-doubt that you have, man. Because I really feel like y'all could really transform. We all can transform our lives for the better, so we can be our practical best. Like, for real, y'all. I really do. So go for it, shit. Go for it and go do it, all right? All right, so I'm going to leave y'all here. I'm going to go ahead and talk to my babies, a.k.a. my Patreon subscribers, okay? With them, I'm going to be talking about the aspect pattern that's happening in this full moon that I'm not going to tell y'all about. I'm going to be talking about the fixed stars that is touching this full moon, and I ain't going to tell y'all about that either. And I'm also going to talk about how the full moon's affecting them, specifically, because I'm going to talk about the moon in the houses. Okay. So yeah, this is some real hot girl, hot boy shit. I hope you guys enjoy your full moon, okay? Much love to you. Peace. Hey y'all, this is ASTRODIM laying in my bed because it's my Bed and Astrology, and I'm here to talk about Saturn retrograde going direct, okay? I had to re-record this. I'm re-recording right now because I was getting annoyed by how we just can't coexist, and it's more than just spiritual social media. It's just with everything. Like, people just can't coexist without it being like a nasty ass thing. That just frustrates the fuck out of me. I'm a Libra progressed moon right now, and my natal moon's in the 7th house, and so the discord, I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. It's weird. It's silly. I don't know. I don't get it. But you know, it's really funny because, like, this all kind of relates to Saturn being direct. So let me just say this. First of all, like, there's 3 different times I'm seeing that Saturn went direct. Or station direct, which is kind of annoying, right? But according to AstroSeek, Astro-Seek, by the way, it went direct around 4:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 17th. So the 18th, the date that everyone keeps using, right? And so I was like, all right, whatever. I'm kind of leaning towards more that date because I believe that's around the time I was like, oh my God, spiritual social media is really tripping, and I cannot be on this shit no more. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. My sense of timing has been real fucked up because I have a lot of energy in my 12th right now. Saturn, South Node, and Pluto. And so, like, I'm all over the place. So I could be wrong. But also around like the 8 o'clock hour too, I started getting like an influx of readings. And so I'm like, oh, okay, which, during the summertime readings are a lot more slow, but it's been like a very, very wax and waning type of energy with readings. And so I thought that was really interesting too. So who knows, right? But we just know around this time, the 17th and the 18th is when Saturn's going direct, and usually something will happen. And when Saturn's direct, which is kind of like a bam, like I'm here and I'm direct. And I've been seeing a lot of that happening throughout social media and people in my private life too. And so it's really, really interesting, right? Very, very interesting. And so with that date though, the first time, 4:47 p.m. today and 9:17, I see that as me having authority and control over my status when it comes to just speaking on the unknown and connecting with the unknown, and kind of like taking my authority, which is an issue that I have, because Capricorn in the 12th can, it kind of can show you having yourself undoing is connected to authority. Either you take too much authority and you force it, or you don't assert your authority as much as needed. And I asserted my authority around that time, so I'm kind of leaning towards that 4:47 date. But let me just talk about Saturn retrograde for a second, right? Just generally, because this is going to be a short talk, y'all. I'm going to give a more extensive reading to my patrons. So if you're interested in being a patron and learn about the aspects of Saturn retrograde, go ahead and join me at patreon.com/ASTRODIM, okay? But with Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, right? First of all, Saturn in Capricorn kind of is just representing how we will have more authority and control over our status, over our reputation, possibly our career. But just having more authority, control over our authority, our status, how we are seen, you know what I mean? Our publicity, our reputation. And while it was retrograde, right, we've been reflecting on that. Reflecting on the past few months in which Saturn was direct previously, right? And just even before that too, reflecting on our authority and control and how we can gain a higher status or a better status or a different status than what we want. Within any aspect of our lives in which Capricorn is in and which Saturn is transiting in. You get what I'm saying? And so we've been really, really reflecting on that. And whether you know it or not, it could have been even subconscious, but we've been reflecting on that. And what we're doing at this moment now, as the station's direct, we're at this, the station direct part is we're at this in-between time. It's like, okay, how am I going to execute this? Like, I've been planning to execute it, but how am I going to execute having this authority or control over this sector of my life? And then when it hits all the way direct, it's not station anymore. That's when we're going to really implement things, okay? And so if you kind of think of what I was kind of describing, things are going through just how I said it, right? And again, like, if you don't realize how this is like implemented in your life, this might be subconscious thoughts that you're not even realizing or paying that much attention to. It could be conscious too, you're just not paying attention that you're kind of planning this out in your head. So I really need you to reflect and be very introspective and kind of see how this is playing out in your life. You know what I mean? The interesting thing is that this is actually going direct right at the same degree as South Node, 13 degrees, right? And so I think that's really, really interesting because what I feel is happening, like Saturn is already karmic off the rip, right? It speaks of karmic energies connected to authority, control, respect, responsibility, and things of that nature. But it's at the same degree as South Node, which is just general karma anyway. And so karma and dharma is definitely at play here. If during the retrograde season there has been some secrecy, some foolery, some weird shit happening with you or with anyone else playing with authority in a not so nice, not so cool way, that's just going to be brought into light. And even if you were, playing with authority more in a more like kind of positive way, that's going to be brought to light too, but that's going to elevate you, while the people who being sneaky is going to bring them down. You know what I mean? because shit's going to just be moving forward. And it's going to almost be catalyzed by people asserting themselves a little bit more, because in order to kind of assert yourself a little bit more, you kind of have to execute that plan. And executing that plan that you've been thinking about, that not even some people not even realizing it, some truths are going to be brought into light and be spilled in order for you to execute that plan. And then people are going to put things together, and that's how it's all going to come out, you know. So a lot of shit that's been happening during the time in which Saturn was retrograde, even at the very last minute of it being retrograde, kind of pish posh. Not necessarily pish posh, but it's kind of like, we're gonna see the true intentions of things when Saturn goes direct, and it's going to really humble a lot of people when it comes to the authority and control you have over a certain aspect or a certain place within your life. We're going to be very, very humbled. A lot of people are going to be humbled, for the most part, are going to be the people who've been doing shady shit or doing slick shit or doing slide shit. The people who actually haven't been doing anything fucked up are going to be humbled just for witnessing other people being humbled. It's like, damn, that's a lesson that I'm going to learn without experiencing it. You feel what I'm saying? And so, yes, while Saturn is going direct, all the plans that you've been having to assert yourself a little bit more, to have more authority and control over your life, is going to be executed. You're gonna start doing it, and you're gonna start working at that now. You know, again, it depends on where Saturn is transiting, but it could play out in many different ways. Like, say, if Saturn's in your 7th, you want to learn to have more authority and control over the status of the relationships and important relationships within your life. And so you're going to start executing that a little bit more as Saturn goes completely direct. If it's in your 4th house, you want to have more authority and control over the status and reputation within your family, within your home, possibly roommates, right? That's gonna play out in a way too. If it's in your fucking 10th, you're gonna, try to have more authority and control over the status of your career, or how you're seen, or the publicity that you have, so kind of just see where it is and get well versed with the houses and see how it will apply within your life, and see where you can start pushing forward to have more authority and control within your life. And then you're going to start thinking, when you start pushing towards that, you're going to be thinking like, oh, yo, I remember in fucking May, I was thinking about, pushing myself forward and pushing my status forward in this way. And that's when Saturn was retrograding. It's like, oh, it's all coming together now. I won't be surprised if that happens. Okay. But yeah, Capricorn and Saturn just in general speaks of you having more authority and control over the status that you have in your life, depending, and that status or that part of your life depends on where Saturn is transiting in your house right now. And when it's retrograde, it's just mean that you're being more introspective, more internal, and planning things out and wondering how your authority is playing out at this moment. How has it in the past? Maybe even got some past life memories and shit like that of authority and how it played out with you. And then there's a learning process of you being introspective and reflective and meditating and understanding the authority within your life. And then now you can do something about it in the outward world, okay? So I hope this was helpful, y'all. Again, patrons, stay a little longer, please. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about certain aspects being made to Saturn while it's direct, and seeing how it plays off in our favor or something like that. I don't know, shit. There's only a few aspects though. Saturn's going to be trine Pluto. Not Saturn going to be trine Pluto. Saturn's going to be trine the moon. Saturn's going to be trine Mars, right? Saturn is also Going to be sextile Neptune, so that's cute too. Saturn's going to be opposite North Node. We're going to be talking about that a little bit deeper because that means it's conjunct South Node. And I think that's the only Saturn energy I have left. Yeah, so we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. Maybe I'll go through Saturn throughout the houses too. Yeah, I'm going to do that with you guys. Because my patrons is the shit. Gang, gang. What's up, what's up, what's up? All right. Okay, y'all. Enjoy your Saturn direct energy. And good luck with that, boo. All right? 1.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.